You're muted, buddy. You're muted. That's a good start.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, HEXY Master.
Hey, Maximus. How you doing, buddy? I like your hat, man.
We're back in Panama.
Back in Panama. Did you enjoy it in Europe for a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's cold as
Good,
hell, right?
Yeah.
Your little nuggets frozen to ice cubes.
Yeah.
Your
Oh,
9-inch
bless you, man.
your 9-inch turned into a 1/2 inch.
So did the price as well, actually, funnily enough. But yeah.
Exactly. All right, brother.
I love that hat, man. Bye, Maximus. You have,
Hey,
you
say
have fun,
hi to
mate.
Tiago, Max.
Hi, Tiago.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
I love him, man. He's so sweet.
He's
Such a
cool
cute
man.
kid.
He's funny as hell. Oh man, the things he says just crack me up all the time. Yeah.
Oh, that little clip we've got for the film of mate, that is the funniest shit ever. Like the way they like pieced the intro together. I'm not even gonna ruin it for people, but it's funny. It's funny.
Good. Yeah. Dan did a great job of working on the lowest of stakes. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So.
the lowest of stakes. Yeah. People already know. It's well in the motion now. We've almost finished filming it. There's just a few more things to tie up. We're doing a scene with Crypto Biscuit later on in the week. In fact, tomorrow, I think, or was it today? I don't even know. It might have been today. I'm not there for that though. But yeah, we just got a couple little bits to do, and then we got to do all the editing and post-production, all of that stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to see what comes, man. It's been so fun filming this. Like, I almost forget that we're in crypto. It's just we've just been like four mates having a laugh, like just trying to come up with the dumbest shit that we can do. And luckily we all managed to I mean, some of them had seen the highest of stakes, but I hadn't, and then I recently watched it, so then we could take specific parts of that film and then really like parody them. So for example, like the RG3 thing, man, like, oh god, I love RG3, right? He's a legend, but what he did to his mate there was so bad, you know. Just getting him in at the top, like we can't not take the piss out of that, you know. We've got to. So I just want to let everyone know, if you do get featured in the film or parodied or anything like that, it's all in jest. We're just having fun. We're not trying to actually hurt anyone's feelings. Cough, Crypto 7 prick. Um, so yeah, if people take it in the wrong way, then so be it, man. But like, if you've got a decent enough sense of humor, then you'll be able to see the funny side. Don't forget we're British, so our sense of humor is a little bit more satirical. And we do like to take the piss out of people as much.
Yeah,
as
man. I worked with a couple in my life of you guys, and it took me a long time to get used to the humor. I mean, we're very. I'm from Western New York. We're very sarcastic and stuff, but you guys take sarcasm to another level. That they make you think that they're your best friend, but you just got 9 knives in your belly. Like,
that's true. I'd say the only people in the world that probably have like a worse sense of humor, well, not worse as in bad, I mean like darker sense of humor, is maybe the Australians. That's kind of it. Yeah, those guys, like they walk up to you, you're right, cunt. You know, that's just the way that that's like an endearing statement. Even if you say that in the UK, they'll be like, what? I can't say that.
Bottle over your head.
Yeah. It was a great meeting you and the family in London. And did you have a good time in your road trip?
We had a great time. The only place, or those two, that we didn't really like was this one. I don't want to hurt any feelings, but that place was a shithole. I don't ever care to go back. I actually liked Manchester more than I liked Dublin. And the other.
What was bad about Dublin? I've never been. So,
dude, twice they tried to pickpocket us.
Really?
It was just like street guys everywhere, just hanging on the corner, watching what you're doing. The best part of Dublin was the Guinness factory. It was like a playground for adults. You know, that was great.
Yeah.
The city itself, I didn't feel very comfortable. And since I'm the protector of the family, my head was on a swivel the whole time, so I didn't get to enjoy it. The food was great. The restaurants were phenomenal, but yeah, I just walking around town though, sketch. Sketch.
Yeah. It's not good, man. That's you don't want to be feeling like that. I was like that when I went to Milan. I've only been there once, and literally as soon as I stepped off the coach from the train station, from the airport, like I just got followed by these two like big black guys straight away, like trying to rob me. And I just kept walking. Like I had headphones on, I could hear them, but I just kept walking. Eventually they left me alone. But it was like there was just gangs everywhere, man. Like around that train station bit where you get dropped off. I did not like it. And also the culture shock was crazy, like the class divide. So obviously Milan is renowned for having loads of designer shops. It's like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all of this stuff. But in the evening, every single shop front had like a homeless guy sleeping in it, every single one. Yeah. And it was just like the homeless problem over there was crazy compared to I mean, it's bad in the UK, but like there, it was like literally thousands of homeless people like sleeping in Louis Vuitton storefronts, you know? That was such a weird image for me. So like, yeah, I didn't like Milan.
The UK did. I mean, I might hurt some feelings here, but the best thing the UK did was Brexit. Get the freak out of the EU, man.
I mean, in a way, it's good because it's like escaping us from the New World Order tyranny bullshit. So it seems like a step backwards for that whole like Agenda 2030 shit or whatever. But there must be a master plan. There must be a reason why they allowed that to happen, right? So.
Hey, the crown's still involved. Don't get it twisted. They're involved. But I tell you, our favorite city, my favorite city was Belfast, Northern Ireland. That was awesome, man. Awesome. That's an easy trip for you, just taking the ferry. So we went from Wales. Can't remember the name of the town, but it's all the way at the end of Wales, and we took a ferry across. And then a lady had a heart attack on our ship right next to me, and the UK Coast Guard flew in with a helicopter. So we had this beautiful UK Coast Guard hanging up, right next to our window, and go outside and the helicopter's right there. And they dropped the basket. The EMT got out, and then they took the lady in the basket and took her to Ireland because she was Irish. And I really thought that was pretty cool that the UK Coast Guard did that for her. Even though she didn't die, she survived. She's in the nursing field. She's what we call a walkie-talkie. I mean, she was able to walk, but they still put her in the basket and airlifted her out. So we had some crazy experiences over there. I had a great time. Usually I like to stay on the positive stuff, but for me, it was the things that stood out were the negatives, man. Like Paris is another shithole. I don't see why anybody wants to travel to that place.
I've been there once, and I really didn't like it, man. Again, it was a little bit like Milan, where it was just like lots of homeless people, lots of gangs, loads of crime. It was just I didn't enjoy that. I mean, look, when I went to Disneyland, and I was staying like outside of Paris, like close by to the Disneyland resort. We only actually was in Paris for like one day, but I did not enjoy it at all. Yeah, I don't know what it is with like big capital cities, because I even feel this way when I go to London sometimes. It's just that it's like there's just too much bad stuff that can happen. Like you, head on a swivel, you just like can't relax at all. You know, when you're indoors somewhere, it's fine, but like walking around in the streets, I just don't feel comfortable at all. And you live in South America, dude, and even you're feeling that way. It must have been pretty shit.
It's pretty safe here. I mean, but there was someone did try to pickpocket us the other day here in Panama. But it's Christmas season. Christmas season crime goes through the roof because people are looking for money for Christmas, and that's a normal. They put it all over the news here. Be careful where you go. Be careful what you do. Some guys are just watching me take money out of the ATM. So that's normal. So anybody, I mean, and if you're a traveler, just make sure that don't get caught up in just looking at your map on your phone. Make sure you're always paying attention. The problem in Dublin was I was looking at my Google Maps, and I got a Samsung S22 Ultra, or S23 Ultra. So it's a really nice phone. So obviously he saw my phone, and he started following me. And then we played this little game. So we're walking down the road. I saw, or actually Annabelle saw him first. She told me, and I'm like, okay. So my eyes are on this guy. So I told her stop. So we let him pass us, right? And then we kept walking again. Then he slowed down so he can get behind us again. And we did play this game twice. And then we ducked into Starbucks, and I said to him, hey, better learn how to be a better thief.
They love that.
he was like, oh shit. He recognized me. Yeah, we recognize you, fucker. So yeah, that was great. And probably the safest place we went to was Malta. That was
I've never been to Malta. I've heard it's pretty nice there.
It's amazing, man. I could live there. And I think Annabelle could too, but she said it could be boring after a while, but hey, it's a safe place to live, and it's all the Italian stuff without the bullshit of living in Italy. I lived in Italy for 3 years, and I'll tell you, it's a lot of bullshit. You gotta deal with it.
Unfortunately, I've only been Milan. I have heard that it's meant to be quite nice there, but it's just the area that I was in was just not fun, man. Like I didn't enjoy that at all. I might go to like the Amalfi or something like that. It's meant to be really cool up there. So
Annabelle's like, let's go to Milan. Not this trip, but the last trip. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with it. I mean, let's stay in Padua. let's stay in these other smaller towns. I don't need to go to a big city. It's just too sketchy. Even Rome's out of control now. It really is. Yeah, I
might have to check Malta out. I've heard it's like quite favorable tax wise over there and stuff like that. I am looking for a nice relocation spot eventually. At the minute, I mean, right now, I know that there's this like rolling joke about me living in Dubai. Now, obviously, I don't live in Dubai. I went there for a while. At the moment, Dubai is top of the list because I mean they literally have zero taxes on investment. Income, which is fantastic. Really easy to get residency and stuff like that over there. They want Western rich people to go over there and be there. They make all their money from tourism. So and they're so respectful. It's so safe. It's literally like the safest place on earth. You will never get robbed. You'll never be a victim of violent crime out there. The worst thing that might happen to you is you could get scammed or something, but like you know that's a possibility anywhere anyway. Like if you, for example, I did hear one horror story about a guy who went to one of these crypto exchange places where you can send them money and then they give you cash, and the guy had a bad feeling about it anyway, so he reduced the amount down by like quite a lot. They gave him like counterfeit money, and then when he went back, the place had disappeared. So I have heard about like it is possible, but the thing is, the downside to Dubai is it's very 1984-esque over there. So like everything you have is logged. Like you can't get a mobile phone contract without providing ID and things like that.
Oh, really?
Well, you can't even get like a SIM card without providing ID. In order to get residency there, you need to give your DNA. So that you need a blood test and you need all of these things to get your residency. And whilst I was doing it, I was like, man, this really goes against my like ethics. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, I could avoid paying a lot of tax here. So it might be, in this case, it might be worth it. But like normally, I'd be like, no, I'm not participating in that shit. But yeah, they are like really hot on it. But that's how they have the safest country in the world, safest city in the world. People say dictatorships are bad. They think dictatorships generally are bad, but they're only bad if you've got like a bad leader. If you've got like a group of people in there that actually do want the place to succeed and do really well, like at least for the foreseeable future with the leaders that they've got there now, and maybe the ones after them, it should be fine. But like, yeah, maybe in future some mad dictator gets in and makes everything horrible. But right now it's fantastic out there. Like,
I think the other one like that is Singapore. Singapore is another good example. You got, it's like a dictator style system where they tell, a small group of people tell everyone what to do. And, I'm not for governments, but hey, you go where you're treated best right now. And it's about building your wealth, and the opportunity is there. You just have to find the right place. For me, it's Panama. I know this place. I've been here 13 years, so I'm not going anywhere. The one time we tried going to Mexico, it was such a bad experience. Like, okay, back to Panama we go. So,
I don't know what it is, man. South America just seems so scary to me. Like, I've seen enough videos on the internet of like really bad shit happening in South America. I'm just like, yo, that's brutal, man. Like, these guys do not fuck around. Like,
the value for life here is pretty, not in Panama per se, but some of these other countries is pretty low. And for anybody that's looking for a place, I mean, forget El Salvador. Don't trust that president. You put a bunch of people in prison without even due process. And I tell people, like, look, if he'll do that to the criminals as like a kind of a dictator, what will he do when you disagree with him? So, I'm real sketched by Bukele, the president. God, there's so many people that come after me on TikTok and stuff because I say don't trust him. Like, oh, he's the best guy ever. He isn't. He's a politician. I would never.
Which country are you talking about? Argentina?
El Salvador.
Oh, El Salvador. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's sketch, man. Like the way that whole thing happened was, and also I found it funny because, like, as good as it is that there is, a country embracing Bitcoin, it couldn't have been like more of a shithole country really to do it. Now if this was, I don't know, some kind of a global superpower of any kind, like even fucking Brazil or anything, any like large country with a decent GDP. Yeah, I'm all for that. But like El Salvador, like all the Bitcoin guys were going crazy about El Salvador. It's just like, yo, that's a top signal, mate. That's a top signal right there. And it obviously it was, but they're back in profit now, I hear. So
yeah, for the first time in a while. He was taking lots of shit for that. So okay, and speaking of taking shit, 9inch is taking a lot of shit since launch. You've taken a lot. I've taken a lot. Team's taken a lot. And investors have been they've been not investors, shouldn't call them investors, sacrificers were pretty pissed off.
Yeah, they were. But the thing is, like, I mean, it sucks when price goes down, right? But like, the product is what it is. It's doing what we said it would do. Nothing's changed. If anything, actually, we've come up with some ideas to boost it more in the future. We just wanted to get everything. The only shit thing that happened is when we got DDoSed. Other than that, everything's been running perfectly fine. The only thing that we haven't implemented yet that we said we were going to do is the voting, and that's going to come really, really soon. The reason we haven't done that yet is because it didn't really make sense to do it. Like we've got a pretty good farming structure right now. Like everything's gaining pretty good APY at the moment, and we've got all the pairs on there really that we all have just now to gain the traction. If we start opening it up, and then a lot of guys who did this, who did the sacrifice, got a decent position because they founded some kind of a small shitcoin. And this isn't any shade on any of the guys that did this, because this is, this was the sales pitch, I suppose, right? That you would be able to vote. But it's like, I don't want to remove like farms that we have now that actually do have gigantic amounts of users that can potentially come, to replace them with farms for tokens that maybe have like 400 holders or less than 1,000 holders. It doesn't make sense. Like, so we're going to find a way to do this, but I'm insisting with the team, like they're sick of me at the minute, because I'm insisting, look, man, we need to get this voting out like ASAP, just so we can fulfill everything we said we were going to do. But I will say that the guys behind all of this, like, we're coming up with some really good ideas. And I think it's good that we've had this shakeout. Let's be honest, right? $16.5 million coming in on a sacrifice. You really expect the price just to go up straight away? I mean, I didn't want to say it at the time, but it's like pretty obvious that with that much money raised, there's going to be a lot of people that want to.
Well, what you're missing is they sacrificed at a much higher rate of pulse chain. So It's like, it was like they had their money in the bank and they were actually able to take it out with 9inch. people are like, oh, Randy, you dumped all yours. Man, I dumped most of my pulse chain 9-inch on the way down, but now I have 100% of what I got originally. 100% on both chains. Actually, more on the Ethereum side. So yeah, they can talk all they want, but I got enough 9-inch.
You got bags, mate. You got some bags.
So I'm ready to go.
But this is the thing, is like nothing's changed. Like the idea, the concept, everything that we wanted to do is still there. It's just a work in progress. Like we're going to add new communities and add new features as time goes on, but all the features except for the voting are there. Everything's ready to go. And actually I think we're doing pretty well. You're absolutely right that like the pulse chain price, when the pulse chain and the hex price, and that was the majority of like the sacrifice that came in, was like pulse chain hex. I mean, there was a fair amount in stable coins and stuff, and a lot of poor pleb and a lot of pulse doge, but the actual pulse chain was the bulk of it. Pulse chain, pulse X. That price went down a lot. So actually, even though our chart doesn't look that good in terms of like how much it went, because we pumped and then dumped, right? But it still only went down about 85%. That's normal. That's very normal. But the Pulse X price and the Pulse price went down like 70-80% during that time as well. So technically, those guys are still kind of break even now, but they had a lot of opportunity to sell it at a much higher rate, and they could have got way more. So if let's say you put 1 million Pulse in, there was probably an opportunity where you could have got 4 or 5 million Pulse back for the same sacrifice, right? So that's one of the reasons I think this has happened. And I'm not concerned about price at all. To be honest, I don't even really look at it. I know it's going to go one day because it's too good not to. We've already burnt 0.1% of the supply of the overall supply. Like forget, OAs and all of that stuff. The overall supply, 0.1% has been burned due to the volume. So I'm still in a positive place, and I think we're going to take over. The branding's too good, the narrative's too good. Someone just brought out a Cock Inu coin on a different chain, and I'm like, yes, this is what we want. We want more people doing like dick joke stuff, because then we can be like, we were the first. We were the first. So yeah, I think we're going to do absolutely fine. I think as a hedge against Pulse and Pulse X, this is actually quite a good one. Certainly on the Pulse chain side, I think this is a good one, because if Pulse Chain is a success, because it's not written in the stars that Pulse Chain is going to succeed. I mean, I'm very confident. It's not written in the stars, man. So if Pulse Chain is a success, I see 9-inch as like a good leverage position against that, because our liquidity is way lower, our user count is way lower. We have the potential to go up a lot more than that. In fact, almost every coin on Pulse Chain has the ability to beat Pulse Chain technically in terms of gains. It's just Pulse Chain, I suppose, is a safer bet. But actually, Pulse Chain isn't the safest bet at the moment anyway, especially with all this SEC stuff going on. And it's a risk. If you're sitting in Pulse right now, it's kind of risky. But it always is with Richard Hart stuff. And hopefully we'll reap the rewards. I haven't sold any. I actually bought on the way down. I bought the very bottom. That's where I removed all of my liquidity on Pulse. So I'm chilling, mate. Like if that price does what I think it's gonna do, I'll be on a yacht, mate.
You're doing just fine. Eric says, I've seen 9-inch posts on Twitter. They'll have some news to announce soon. Is there anything that you have?
So obviously the biggest thing right now that we have already done is we've added Nope to the farming. So you can now farm with Nope and 9-inch and Nope on and Pulse, I think it is. Let me double check.
Nope and Pulse and Nope and 9-inch.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right. So I'm just going to have a look right now. So, and congratulations on launching that, of course, because I don't know, this has been like highly anticipated. I waited for that dip that I knew was going to come, and I can say I bought just a little higher than what we are now. But if it goes any lower, I'll buy more, because I want to get my hands on some more of that. Pulse versus Nope right now, you're getting 171% APY. And 9-inch versus Nope, you're getting 94% APY. It's pretty decent, man. Like you can use that APY to just buy more Nope if you want, or buy more Pulse, or do whatever you want. You don't have to hold the BBC if you don't want to. So that's like the breaking thing. There's a couple of other things that are going on in the background. I mentioned the voting earlier. That will be coming pretty soon. I can't give you an exact time on that. It might be just after Christmas now. I mean, we're only 5 days away from Christmas, so it might be just after that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, it's Christmas time. Just let everyone do their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another thing I suppose I can touch on a little bit as well. We already spoke about this in the past, that we were going to use 9-inches. Oh, actually, before I get to that, we have added some features on the Pulse Chain side of 9-inch, because we want 9-inch to be a one-stop shop in terms of what you do on Pulse Chain. So right now there's a services tab at the top. We've integrated the Pulse Chain Bridge, a block explorer, the hex.com front end, and PulseX. You can literally use all of those on 9inch now. You don't have to go anywhere else. Yeah, we've got all of that on. So you can use 9inch as a one-stop shop for everything Hex related, Pulse Chain related now.
Let me go back. Okay, so
services, top
services, you got the Bridge, Explorer, Hex, and PulseX. Cool.
Yeah, so you got all of that going. Another thing we're looking to integrate as well. Again, I'm not going to put a time frame on this, but obviously 9inch only has liquidity for the pairs it's got liquidity for, right? So we don't have liquidity for every single token on Pulse Chain. But what we're going to integrate at some point in the future, now we're still ironing out a couple of details for this, but we're going to integrate an aggregator on the website. So if you want to trade a pair that we don't actually have, you'll be able to do that on 9inch for a very small fee. And that small fee will still, this is the plan at the moment anyway. It might change slightly, but the small fee will go to buy and burn the 9inch and the BBC as normal, but you would just be buying it through a different provider instead. So it might just route via PulseX, or it might just route via 9mm or something like that. There'll be ways to do it, but we're going to integrate an aggregator on the website as well, so that you don't have to go to multiple websites to trade, because there are still a lot of coins out there that don't list liquidity on 9inch. So if they don't, you can still trade that token. It would just be, you know, we would just route it via a different direction and just charge a small fee for it. But the fee would be almost non-existent, really.
So you're talking about like having building in Pateas, something similar to Pateas within 9inch.
Yeah, basically, and just charging a very small fee on top so that we still add to our buy and burn, so we're not just like pumping another DEX without getting anything in return, I suppose, because we still want to protect the price of 9inch and all of that. And yes, that's pretty bullish.
That happened to me today. I had to, because 9inch didn't have the pair I was trading, so I had to go to Pateas to do it. It'd be great if you guys had that built right in.
Mm-hmm. Just makes it easier, right? It just means you don't have to go to other websites and risk connecting your wallet to something else. Like Ledger just proved the other day that, oh shit, crypto's still fucked.
Yeah.
So so there's that. And then I suppose the final thing that we are going to be bringing in fairly soon. So obviously we've done an airdrop for our token holders and participants in the past, which was Where Did the ETH Go? Huge dip on Where Did the ETH Go, by the way, guys, if you want to get in on that. Did go up like 750x, but it's down about 85-95%, something like that at the minute. So might be a good buy. I don't know. But we're going to be doing more airdrops and things like that in the future. But we were thinking about ways that we could do it that might help stuff. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to do a launchpad style launch on our next airdrop that we do. So in order to get that, you will have to stake. It's probably going to be the BBC token, but it might be the 9inch token. So in future, if you can stake one of those two tokens, probably BBC, because we want to do something to boost that, or maybe even burn the BBC tokens, then you will receive the launchpad, and that will be distributed over like a 1-year period or something. Again, I haven't ironed out details. We've got ideas for meme coins that we want to launch, but this is part of expanding the ecosystem and just kind of like bonding a lot of liquidity together. So if people want to speculate on a new meme coin, but the liquidity is heavily bonded with 9inch, and then that price goes up, then it's going to drag everything else up a little bit with it. So as we know, like new meme coins that come out can go up hundreds of X with like very little buy pressure. Actually, it's like less than $1 million.
Did you see no permissions?
Oh yeah, that shit went up. How much did it go up in the end?
48x in the first 12 hours.
See what I mean? That's just people aping in because they know that you're behind it, but they didn't.
I was sleeping, bro. I was silent sleeping all this,
right? Like, because I had guys messaging me like, "Oh mate, have you seen Randy's release his coin?" I was like, "Yeah, obviously, I know he's released his coin." And he said, "Shall I buy it now?" And I was, "Well, he hasn't distributed it yet, so I don't know, man. Like, you know, it's up to you what you want to do, but I would rather see what the price does after the distributions happen, and then get in, and then like obviously it just ended up dumping a little bit, but that's normal. I mean, at one point you were giving out, what was it, like about $2,500 for every month that you were a member of your Patreon. That's too much, man. Like, that's too much.
I didn't know to do a 48x.
I know, right? But you can never know, right? But But when I looked at that price, and then I was looking at like when is the distribution going to happen, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, it's probably going to dip, so I'll just wait, and I did, and yeah.
Some of the guys wrote me, and they said it was such great money. It changed their lives. They had no idea that they were going to receive that much money, and they sold, and they and my group. I mean, you're part of the Patreon. I said, look, guys, I don't want to be like Hex. I don't want to be like the Pulse Chain community. There is no shaming for selling, period. Anybody can sell at any time. This is their own money. And I made it fucking clear in the community. Like there's no shaming at all. If they want to shame they can go somewhere else. And then we're going to take our tokens, and pretty soon we're going to have farms on 9inch. I didn't tell them it was happening this week. I said it's possible that it was this week. There's no guarantee. And then you sent me the news this morning that it was live. I'm like, holy crap. Okay, that was fast. I launched the token on Friday, right? I launched the token on Saturday. It airdropped on Sunday, and we have pools on Wednesday. Come on.
To be honest, mate, I wanted to get them out on Monday. I wanted them out on Monday, but we can do it. But the thing is, obviously, with you guys, you get like a little bit of special treatment in this situation, just because your community, they participated so strongly in the sacrifice. I think, what was it, like your referral code was like $4 million, like $3 or $4 million worth of. One dude did nearly 3 on his own, for Christ's sake. So shout out you against it.
He did more than 3.
He did more than 3, did he?
Yeah, 573 people used my code. Out of those 573, I will guess like 250 of them were Patreon members. So we hold the majority, I would say, of the 9inch tokens outside of your ecosystem, of your team, right?
Yeah.
So we want to. It just makes sense. I watched what HOA did, right? And HOA, they're building a nice little community, right? And they airdrop and sell stuff, and take care of each other. I want to do the same thing with Nope, to take care of my community as well as cross market with other communities. So which
absolutely. That's what we're trying to do. I mean, we put a HOA farm on there. Like I like the ethos of what those guys are doing. I think they've got like a clever way of marketing, and it's pretty good to see, man. Honestly, I think those guys have got like a good formula going. Obviously, they're a little bit more affiliated with another DEX, but which is fine. I'm all for like healthy competition and all of that stuff. It's totally cool. We need many DEXers. We need an honest price on Pulse Chain. Again, my focus now, and it always kind of has been, but it's just easy, low-hanging fruit on Pulse Chain, is I really want to get the Ethereum side going. I want the Ethereum side to do well, and I want us to get. We're in talks with all the main aggregators and stuff. There's just some criteria we have to hit before we can get listed on these aggregators like 1inch and Matcha and all of that. So I would again throw out here to anyone who's listening right now. I know some of your guys have got deep pockets. Please add liquidity on the Ethereum side, guys. Like we need I think we need at least minimum $10 million of liquidity on Ethereum before we can start hitting the aggregators, right? I think at the moment we've got something like 3. So if we 3x that, then we can start getting the aggregators. Then we look at all the buy and burn pressure we're going to get just by getting on the aggregators. If even like I noticed that our Hex liquidity, we've got a really tasty farm for Hex ETH on there at the minute, for example, and there isn't that much liquidity on there, guys. Like I can't believe that hasn't filled up like crazy. I can't believe we haven't got like $500,000.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now, HEXY. I'm going to tell you something right now. As a marketer, you need to be out there telling us this stuff. I had no idea. I just pulled my liquidity the other day. I said, I'm not earning much over here, so I'm going to pull my liquidity. So if I would have,
this is me doing it right now.
yeah. But we need to be out there. You as a founder, now you have 2 tokens. You have 2 projects, actually 3. And you're going to have
hang on. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
What the hell? Okay. Now, so you need to be out there with your face. I would recommend. I'm going to be doing twice a week streams. One short, one like an hour, and then Wednesday nights going to be like tonight. I have a 2 to 3 hour stream. I'm going to be gambling. I'm going to have my casino up. I'm going to be giving away money. We have all kinds of stuff, doing fun stuff like that. Because I'm a degen, and I don't judge people because I know I've got my faults too, and I love to gamble. So but you need to have your face out there and giving us these kind of updates. Because dude, if I would have known that, there's no way I would have pulled my Ethereum stuff on 9inch. No way.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, there is a plan for So unfortunately, I've just had a little bit of shit going on in my life, so I can't stream as much as I have wanted to. But I'm going to be back out. I've got a plan to set up like a regular scheduled kind of stream like a few times a week.
Yes.
I did a podcast the other night, which hasn't been released yet. That was at like 2:30 in the morning with Matty Allen, and it was for a conspiracy. Have you heard of Jeranism?
Yes. I used to watch that show a couple times.
Yeah. So we did that the other night, and we're doing some stuff in the background. But yeah, you are right. I need to get out there more. But yeah, that's one of the things that I'm trying to get across to people now is like the Ethereum side liquidity is really important. So if you guys can help us out by just providing your liquidity there, if you're currently providing on Uniswap, what are you doing? Please provide it on 9inch instead. Maybe the fees are a little bit lower at the beginning, but it really helps out the ecosystem, and it really helps us to get on with these other aggregators and stuff. I'm going to just check the total liquidity now on the Ethereum side. Looks like we got, it's just over $1 million of liquidity. That ain't enough, man. We need 10 times that really to get on there and start making moves with this. Now, a lot of you guys have got Hex, a lot of you guys have got ETH. You can just do Hex and 9inch if you want. It doesn't really matter as long as we get that TVL up, the liquidity amount up. That's really going to help us to achieve the goals of getting listed on these things, because once we're listed on these aggregators, man, it could be game over right there, because then they're just going to start routing via us because our fees are cheaper and the gas is more efficient. So it's just like automatically always going to use us unless it's too big of a trade that we haven't got the liquidity without the slippage to do it. Certainly for Hex, I mean, Hex has like sometimes millions of dollars of volume going through it every day on Uniswap, probably more actually. I've seen days where it's done like $10 million of trading just on Uniswap. Why are we giving our money to the fucking bug eaters and like the guys that are like Uniswap are so fucking corrupt, mate? It's unreal. Like we need to be moving well away from those guys. They're going to be bringing in KYC soon and stuff like that. Like no. Decentralized, man. You want to be decentralized. 9inch has got the opportunity to become the biggest decentralized exchange other than say Uniswap in the world. We could be a household name 2 years from now. Well, household within crypto anyway. So yeah, that would be like my main message to people. I feel like Pulse Chain, we've consistently been the second biggest DEX for a while now. So that side is easy. It's just the low hanging fruit, as I said earlier, but it's the Ethereum side that we really need. And we are doing we're trying to get some deals done in the background, but yeah, we haven't managed to do anything too crazy just yet.
Well, it's only been a couple months. It's been 2 months since you launched. Ivan says eating bugs and drinking soy while watching the stream.
My guy.
The Pulse Chain community is the one place where it's so funny. I've been in crypto a long, long time, and I can remember when all the Bitcoiners were anarcho-capitalists like myself, libertarian style people, conspiracy theorists, all those types of folks. And now all those people are stuck in the middleman D, right? They're stuck in the banker's D. They're doing all these things. It's like, what did you guys do? So you're telling me when I got into Bitcoin, I really got into it for the technology. Swear to God, because there was no money to be made in Bitcoin back then. it wasn't about the money. And all of a sudden,
I find that really hard to believe. I'm not gonna lie.
No, in 2017, it all changed. I got in 2014. All I did was see my money go down for 2 years because I got in right past the top, right? And I was just told what this thing could do. And because I'm a gold and silver guy, I like screw the Fed, screw all this. I want to be outside the banking system. So I was super excited, right? Max Kaiser and those guys, I truly believed in what they were saying. And all of a sudden we started making money in 2017. And then the greed took over. I saw people who I thought were there for the tech just turn into the greed side. And it really is funny to watch. And these people, I no longer feel like they're really for changing the world. And I think Pulse Chain, the ecosystem of Pulse Chain is still there to do that. There's a lot of people who still believe that can be done. And I'm so happy to be part of this community. And that's why I love it, and you guys got.
There's definitely a lot more kind of like freedom fighter type guy. I mean, I've been saying this is about Hex since I got in. It's like, man, there's so many like conspiracy theory guys here who hate the New World Order and all of that stuff. Like, I'm all about that. Like, that's why I really gelled well in this community. Those guys are still there. I think the greed aspect of it is leaning towards greed now, though, because like everyone's bought in. They all want to get rich. And obviously Richard, the way he was selling it is, I'm going to help you guys get rich. So that's what suckered me in, to be honest. It was just like, it just so happened that the community, the way it is, that kind of kept me solid within this as well after. So I agree, definitely, but I sort of half disagree because everyone I speak to, they just want number go up, man. They don't give a shit about anything else right now. But maybe it's just because we're so down, right? Like maybe when everyone's break even or above again, then they'll be like, yeah, this is going to change the world. We're here to make the world a better place and yada, yada, yada. And, you know, maybe that will happen then. But certainly my sentiment
Listen, I opened up my Staker app for the first time today and probably since like 2 months. And I haven't looked at my actual stakes. I never look at my actual stakes. It's been probably more than a year that I did that. And I'm looking. I'm like, holy crap! I'm still making multiple hundreds per day in Hex.
Still, really?
Still at this rate, at 1.5 cents. I'm doing the combined value, right? So multiple hundreds per day. And when we go back to 50 cents, it's gonna be freaking ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Yo, bro, like the amount that I managed to pick up between like 0.3 cents and 3 cents is like an amount that I never thought I would be able to buy. Like even after, you know, we did the poor pleb sacrifice and all of this stuff. Like my life changed massively when we did that poor pleb sacrifice, because it was like I literally had, I think I've said this before, I had 2 T-shares, guys. I was out here streaming multiple times a week. I had 2 T-shares, right? Like that is so pathetic. I managed to pick up like fucking lot of T-shares, right? I don't want to say a number, but I managed to pick up a lot of T-shares for like cheap. Really feels cheap. I've probably got more Hex now than a lot of OGs do. So I'm, you know, if that shit goes back to 50 cents, mate, I'm gonna be screaming. I swear now, like I'll just give you like, nah. But I don't even want to sell.
Like,
I'm
still a happy dolphin. My position hasn't changed much. I think I've only sold about 1 million of my Hex in the stakes from 2020. So I'm still, you know, it's still going well. I mean, I really believe the hype, and I normally don't do it. So I staked long and hard, man. 11.7 years is my average, so I can't do shit with it anyways. You know, just let it ride. I got enough other cryptos where I could just use those, you know, and have fun with those. And I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen in 2024, 2025. It's going to, the way the cycles is, I know people want to hear these things, so I'm going to say it. The way the cycle is turning out right now is no different than any other cycle. We just pumped a little bit early because I'm going to say it because a lot of people don't believe me, but the end of the Jubilee year was in September. What happened after September? Up to the right. For everything, every asset class, gold, silver, Bitcoin, stock markets, everything started going up. I told you shit was going to happen. It happened. Here we are. We got an early cycle. I think we'll actually get a pullback in Bitcoin too. We might hit 48,000 in January, and then it's going to start pulling back in February as we go into the April halving. And then after that, during that time, we'll have that dump that everyone hates during the cycle. But then at 6 months, a year later, we have Bitcoin at its all-time high. And so that's a year from now.
I completely agree with you, man. I've been looking at the charts lately. I said it on my last stream. I think Bitcoin is going to hit somewhere around 48K, and then it's going to have a slow drip. Now, my target might be a little bit lower than most, but I think it's going to go down about 50%, somewhere between 20 and 30K. I think it will land, maybe even a touch lower. I don't know, but I think there'll be a massive capitulation. Something will happen that makes people scared, and then everyone will dump it. But then that will be the absolute end of the bear market at that point. Yeah. But what I think, if we translate this back to like Hex Pulse Chain side of things, I think we're going to decorrelate again. So you notice that Bitcoin and everything's been going up. We've just been sitting there chilling, maybe not even going up. Maybe we've actually been going down during this time, right? But what happened, this is why I loved Hex when I got into it, is on the down days where everyone's sad, we were mooning. And then on the good days where they were doing well, we'd go down like 2%, 3%. But then on the days where they're doing bad, we're doing great. And I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to have this decorrelation event. I think this is Richard's plan, man. Like, I really do. I think he knows that this dip is going to come. And he's going to moon us during that time. So then it looks like we're the only place in crypto that's actually winning right now. Yeah. The safe haven, man, the shining hill city on the top of the hill, you know, all that stuff, like the magic carpet ride. Yeah, he is. It's a great marketing tactic because that helps you stand out, right? Like if everything else is dying and you're doing well, you really stand out at that point. And that's how he got me. That's how he got most of the people, you know. So I think during this dip where Bitcoin and everything goes down, Hex and Pulse Chain, they're gonna moon during that time. Maybe we go up 10x from where we are now. It's going to be fucking amazing. And then, yeah, there'll be another dip after that, like Bitcoin starts moving. I think when Bitcoin and everything moves again, maybe we just kind of gently rise up. Like, we're not going to go full boner. But after Bitcoin hit its all-time high, that's when we actually did well. It was after the Bitcoin all-time high, when the altcoin rally happened. We just happened to be one of the altcoins that smashed it during that time. And I think we're going to get the same thing. I think history is going to rhyme. We're going to get basically the same thing. So I'm not really looking to, I mean, I have got some areas, like some targets where I'm going to take a bit of HEX, like sell a little bit of HEX, just because it would be silly not to, the kind of price is getting in. I mean, damn, if we get to like 20 cents and I've been buying it at 0.3 cents, that's a good area to take a bit off, right? Like 20%. Yeah, like, come on, man. I could take 20% off at that. I don't have to feel bad about that. But certainly around all-time high areas, things like that. I mean, I said it last cycle, like when we knew that the bear market was in for HEX and we were like basically fucked for a while. I was saying, man, I think eventually it's going to get to maybe $1.50, something like that, combined value, and that's definitely in
you imagine,
definitely a possibility, bro. Like, no, I can't. That's the thing. It's like, it's stupid to even assume that, but there are some factors in the way, though. So I think the SEC case is one of them. If that's not cleared up, then it's possible we don't reach the all-time high again. We will pump, but whether we get to the all-time high again, I don't know. I'm 50-50. I think it might do an XRP if we don't sort it out. So it might go to 50% of the all-time high. But bro, from here to 25 cents combined value, I'm fucking all right with that. I'm fine with that. Like, I don't need it to go to 50 cents.
People are going to call you a fudder for that, because I said that on Twitter recently. And like, oh, Randy, you're fudding. I'm not fudding, man. That's what XRP did last cycle. It did like a 20-something X.
That's like the only comparable thing. I mean, you still made a lot of money if you bought the bottom and sold the top. But it's the only comparable thing we've got where it's like a large cap, because we are like a large cap cryptocurrency that got sued by the SEC and it was unresolved during this time. People were speculating on whether they would win the case or not. That's the only reason it was fucking relevant. Otherwise, like, no one knew or cared about it at all unless they already had bags. But obviously, when it did pump, it only got to half its previous all-time high. So why would HEX do any different to that? I know we've got better tokenomics and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. We have actually just reduced our network effect a lot by adding a new chain and adding all these extra tickers. So maybe that plays a part in it as well. Who knows, man? Who knows? All I'm saying is I'd be very happy if HEX got to a combined value of 20 cents again. I'd be very, very happy at that. And then anything else is just a bonus. Like, I know I'm good at that point.
I'm excited for that. Let me say what Eric's got a question here. He says, this is for me, I think. Say we get our taxes back by March, will it be too late to get these tokens? So actually, I think March is when we're going to have the dip. That's just normal. The halving is April 4th, roundabouts, right? They don't have the exact date. It goes by block. But right around April 4th, you're going to have the dip, or not the dip, but the halving. So that means the big people are going to start taking their money out. They're going to try to front run. And they're going to try to take money out probably about a month before, I'm guessing. So you're looking at end of February, beginning of March, when the money starts coming out after Bitcoin hits its near-time all-time high. It's not. It doesn't mean it's going to make it back to 70K. It's probably going to make it 48K, 49K, something like that. And then you're going to have that retracement back down to 35, 33, 32, 25. I don't know where it's going to go, but I really don't think it's going to affect us at Pulse Chain. I agree with HEXY that we're going to kind of decorrelate. And that'll be the best time to pump Pulse Chain.
Oh, hell yeah. That's why I'm like, man, I nearly got flooded out of Pulse Chain a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I didn't sell anything, but I got very close. Like when front ends came down, sued by the SEC, Richard's not here anymore. It's like all these things are so bad. And I'm like, God, especially with the year of outrage marketing Richard just did. And I was worried whether the film was going to be any good. Have you seen the film, by the way?
I just watched it the second day I came home. It was amazing. I bought it. I have it.
Yeah. I thought it was great. Like, a lot of people who I spoke to told me, this is bad, man. This is not good for us. When I watched it, I was like, shit, I don't have enough T-shirts, man. so it did its job for me. Like, so I don't know. If I was like a no coiner watching that, it would make me interested in crypto at the very least. I'd be but like, from watching that film, all you know in crypto is Richard Hart, Pulse Chain, maybe Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum. Great. That's all you know about. So, and also I think the explainer that they did about Pulse Chain at the end, like the graphics and things like that they did, I think that was brilliant. Like, yeah, I think when these people come in, the only issue I see at the moment is it's quite difficult to buy. Like if you're a newbie, it's really difficult to navigate that stuff. Like there are some easy places, like I think Coast you can go and use fiat to buy, and there's a couple of places where you can get in easily. But for the standard newbie, they just want to go on Coinbase and buy it, right? Like they just want to download crypto.com and buy it there. So it would be good if we got listed on a decent exchange so that it's easy for the influx of new people from that film. If that film goes on Netflix as like a free to watch thing, then man, we're going to get a big influx of people coming in, like a big influx. So we need to make it easy for these guys. Right now, it's not ezy. So
no,
yeah. Even I struggle with it, man. Like IPFS, what the fuck is that? Like I didn't even know what that was.
well, you don't even need to know about the IPFS part. You just have to click on the link. That's all. No, it just takes you to IPFS chain. The one thing I don't like about the IPFS is that when you do go to PulseX or you go to anything else that's IPFS, it takes a good 30 seconds to a minute for everything to engage because it has to go through these other servers, right? So it takes more time than a typical website, which just goes through Amazon or these other big old server plants. So IPFS goes around the world. So you're talking one computer's talking from here, one's over in the UK. So you got, all over the place. So it takes some time for the website to populate and be able to be used. So people might think, oh, I click on it, oh, the website doesn't work. No, you got to wait 30 seconds to a minute for it to catch up, and then it'll be fine. And that's the only problem I have with it. I mean, I even struggle with it myself. I'm like, I want to throw throw it at the computer, like, okay, because I have no patience. We all have no patience.
The thing that got me is when I downloaded the files, my antivirus went absolutely mental and was like, what are you downloading? Don't download this. And now if you're playing with money and you got obviously I trust it because it's coming from Richard Hart's literal tweet. So I'm like, he's not gonna scam us directly like that ever, So I wasn't worried about it, but my antivirus was going crazy. And if I was just like an older dude with, who's just looking to put a few $1,000s into crypto, and then I download this thing and my antivirus is like, no, malicious file, that's bad. But yeah, I mean, look, they're just working around. Like, we're going to find ways to deal with this. I mean, like I said, right now, 9inch.io is quite an easy place to do it.
Yeah.
You can trade for wrap PLS on there, then use the bridge. So you can trade it on Ethereum and then use the bridge to come over, and then you can trade it on Pulse Chain really, really easily. Like we're trying to make a one-stop shop,
Look, you're not an IPFS front end, right? So there's still going to be, they could play whack-a-mole. You guys, if 9inch went down, you could do what you did when you had the DDoS attack. You set it up on another website, and all of a sudden you're back up, right? That's the kind of shit that we can play.
I think we're going to get some backup websites up as well. I mean, to be fair, we're still, to this day, we're still getting DDoS attacked. Like we are, but like we've got really good protection now, so it's not happening. But there is a malicious person or persons out there that is doing everything in their power to bring us down. Like people are fucking scared about what we're doing here. And I'm getting it on Twitter. I had like an army of Twitter trolls, like brand new accounts coming up and commenting under everything. HEXY's a scammer. HEXY's a bad person. Sacrifice, blah, all this shit. I'm just like, yo, where did all these guys come from? I look at their account. It's like a brand new account. But there was like 50 of them, dude. Like someone's paying money for this. Someone is spending their money to try and fuck with us. Why? Like, come on, man. We're trying to make crypto a better place here. Like, what the fuck? And it's funny because I get this targeted at me that I'm like, the amount of people that are calling me, well, have called me a scammer. I'm just like, dude, I'm like one of a handful of people that is definitely not a scammer. Like, if we were scammers, would we have even launched the fucking website? Like, come on, man.
At a public party where people could have took you out.
Yeah. Of course, like I've appeared in public loads of times. Like if I've got nothing to hide or be afraid of, or I've done everything like as by the book as I possibly can, and my team have got the right intentions. Like even when we've had fuck ups in the past, they have been like bang sorting it out. Like, and it's gonna be this way. Like we're all passionate as fuck about this project. Like I want this to be the second biggest decentralized exchange on the planet. To be honest, if Uniswap carries on the way they're going, I'd like us to overtake them. But it's going to take time. We're not going to run in and do that straight away, but we have got a good community behind us, and we've got a lot of support from, I mean, if you look at how much came in on the sacrifice, I mean, that drummed up so at the bottom of a bear market as well, dude. Could you imagine if we launched that sacrifice around the time that, I don't know,
easy
Liquid, yeah, if like around the time Liquid Loans got their 50 million, to be honest, dude, I think we would have got more than that.
Yeah,
I really do. Like, which is just insane, you know, but no one had the idea back then. Even Richard hadn't spoken about pool sex at that point. So no one even had the idea, even Richard. So maybe he had the idea, but he hadn't spoke about it, you know. But,
yeah, when I did my biggest raise ever was, I think it was 42 million. That was from some obscure project that we did in 2017, and everyone was jumping all over ICOs. And, you know, we sold out in 3 days, I think it was. It was something ridiculous. And I'm like,
Jesus
okay,
Christ.
That's done.
41 million. Did the project succeed in the end?
No. Almost everything from 2017 is gone. The only project that I actually worked with that I helped, that they didn't pay me a salary or anything, was Ave, which obviously was that was ETHLend. It used to be called ETHLend, and that's the only project that ever really became big that I was there from day one. Oh, and Steemit. I was there for Steemit too from like the second month it launched. They're still around. And so there's 2 projects out of the 40 or so that I launched, I was part of, that are actually still around and doing well. I think Epicash is still around too. This is actually the background that I had for Epicash back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought I had to get something, but that matched Nope token. But yeah, that was still around too. So 3 out of the 44 or so that I helped launch survived. That's just nature of.
I mean, that's cool and everything. Maybe we shouldn't talk about that again. No, I think we're onto something a little bit special here. I think this will work out in the end, man. Like I can't see a future where this doesn't work out, honestly. And now that's not me shilling it. If you don't like the idea, then do not buy it. I don't want people to buy it based upon my advice. I just know it's a great idea and the branding's great. And like I mentioned earlier, that like there's other dick joke coins coming out now. I did the first one ever. I'm just saying with PP, which by the way, like I posted a tweet earlier that like of the supply that you know is user owned, there's 12% of it locked up on 9inch, earning like up to 200% APY. But that's what you know about. Like, it's funny. Like, I might tell you off stream, Randy, just as a joke, like what user owned PP actually is, because it's kind of crazy. Like, I don't want to say it publicly though because I can't. But it's nuts. It's nuts, man. Like when you look, because already like even just the PA had like 66% of it. And we had a lot come in on sacrifice, and there was also a lot that a certain someone went and bought off market, which one might assume doesn't exist anymore. Like, so yeah, there's quite a lot of PP missing, possibly, maybe. So yeah.
Well, I know how it is for Nope. I mean, our biggest wallet has 150 million. Our second biggest wallet will have 40 million. I just don't have an address from them yet. They have 4% of the supply. My former business partner of my project that didn't work out, that I tried from 2018 to 2020 to launch, and it was called ASOP Social, and we ended up giving up. Devs, if you guys who do not know, I know Richard has said this in the past. Finding a good dev is really difficult, and I went through.
Oh God.
And I just wasted all the money on devs. It was just okay. 5,000 to start, boom, boom. You can't do it, you motherfucker. Okay. They always say they can do it, and then they get going. They go, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But they keep the money, you know. So that's where our money got burned. But I talked to him, and he's going to be a 4% owner of our project here in Nope, and he's one of those guys that just never sells. he's already a billionaire, so he doesn't need to sell.
Shit.
You know. So he's got 4% and got a bunch of wallets that are not bunch, like I think 5 or 6 that are above 10 million. And I think the total distribution is about maybe about 350 million is what's out there public. So 35% is in the hands of everybody, and the rest is the origin address. And I talked to one of the gentlemen that you know, Bulls. He was at the party. And he's going to get involved too with me to work with me on this project. And He really wants to do something similar to what UpX and Up did that's doing with their buy and burn. He wants to help me implement that for Nope Token. So, that's great to hear. He wrote me today, so I'll discuss with him what we need to do to get that going. So you met him; he's a great
definitely, guy. I mean, I'm sure you know anyway. I can definitely vouch for that guy. I like that guy a lot. Yeah. I've met him in real life a few times.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's great.
And I've met some cool people when we were over there. And I tell you what, I have more friends in the UK in crypto than anywhere else. It's like we every time we go to, people meet up with us. We go out to dinner. It was so cool. Every city we went to, we met with somebody. Every city, it was nuts.
Yeah, that party that we did was really fun, man. Like that was really fun. I mean, we had a little bit of drama at the end. Like we basically got shut down in the end, but just right at the end, though, like literally like 15 minutes before it was meant to close anyway. But like the manager pulled me to one side a couple of times during that night and was like, mate, like, we can't have this happening. Yeah, I don't want to go into detail about it, but it's funny because we're all like grown-ups, but we're acting like fucking children because we've all had a few drinks and whatever. But like it was fun though. I really enjoyed the speeches were good, and I've got some footage of that I need to put out. We've got all the speeches on recorded and stuff, but we were saving some of it for the film. So we'll I might try and get like a teaser of that out soon because it would be good for people to see that. But
did this have anything to do with it?
What's Oh, hookers and cocaine. I don't know them, mate. I'm sorry. I don't know who they are, but I understand. I think you want to speak to Moomin Man, mate. He might support you. But yeah, no, that party was really fun, and I think we had a great time. And it was I just felt rough for like 3 days after, because it wasn't just that night; it was like the 2 nights before that. Yeah, I was just like on a mad one. I was just on a mad one, bro. I don't even know how I managed it on that Saturday when we did the event. I was just like running on absolute fumes. I think I'd had like 3 hours sleep in 3 days.
We had started Thursday night. Thursday night, we all went out.
Yeah, when we all went out that night. Yeah, we didn't get back until like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning that day. And then it was like straight over to Maidenhead, did another big night out that night. And then it was this event. It was just like, so on the Sunday, I went back to London and I got in my hotel, and I swear to God, I just slept for like 14 hours straight. My girlfriend told me that I was snoring, like shaking the room. That's how, like, I don't even normally snore that badly, but like on this occasion, I was like shaking the room, man. Like I was, yeah.
I like that hotel. That's the Novotel by Paddington Station.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It was nice in there, man.
It was pretty nice. And right after you left, they finished the upgrade downstairs. So we came back after we did our trip around the UK. We came back and stayed there again, and they opened up the downstairs. I wish they had that when you guys were there, because it was awesome, man. Big open space with a huge bar. We could have done everything right there at the hotel. Really disappointing that it wasn't ready for us.
Good, yeah. Yeah, it would have been all right. I don't know why we ended up doing it in Maidenhead. It was just like that Monkey Island estate was pretty, awesome, man. Like that
freaking awesome, man.
Nice, yeah. That was bougie as fuck. Like, man, do you know what's funny about that as well? Like, I cannot tell you how much that fucking event cost. And like, because we didn't sell all the tickets or anything like that, man, I lost so much money on that event for the sake of art for this film. Like, because that's kind of why we did it, right? To get some footage for the film and stuff. And we wanted to recreate the 731 event that Richard did. That's why I was wearing the stupid gold tracksuit and all of this. But like, it was funny, man. Like, I don't even care. Like, probably lost about 13 grand. Maybe 14 grand on that.
And Dan was there, and Dan was out there recording all day Friday too for the lowest of stakes. Yep. He was working his butt off, and what's the other gentleman's name that was helping Dan? So there's 3. There's Dan BK, Creamy Dan, as we like to call him because of his sultry, sexy voice. You got a hexacologist who actually was helping Richard develop the white paper for Hex. When this came out, he's been around since way back, way back. And then you've got Hex for Life as well, Doxed for Life, aka Jeff. So he's just like an OG Hexagon, and he was the first crypto guy I ever met in real life. He's from the same city as me, and we met in real life, went for a pint, and yeah, just been friends ever since. I fucking love working with these guys, man. It's just been so much fun. Like, sure was, man.
they're taking like, so I just basically said like, I like the idea of doing this film. Dan had this vision for like what he thought it should be. I was just like, mate, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. I'll just turn up and do whatever. I'll be the clown, mate. The thing is, as well, people are going to get upset about like, oh, we're taking the piss out of this guy. The person who's getting the piss taken out of them the most in this film, I promise you, is me. I like some of the things that I've had to do for this film. Like, oh my God, like I was dipping like old crust of a last night's pizza in a glass of wine and eating it and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Just like the dumbest shit ever. Like, but it's all just.
You know what I thought was the funniest part, and this is gonna be weird, but at the party, you guys had the poor pleb food table with like the mini wieners and
sausage rolls and
I was like, this is epic. And then you had the regular food. It reminded me of like a wedding when you're a kid. They had the kids' food table, and then they had the adults. You had the poor pleb table. Oh man, it had all this like nasty ass food that you would never want to eat. It's like,
but that's what I grew up on, man. Like I ate more food from that poor pleb table than I did. So like, don't think the money's changed me, guys. I'm still the fucking same as I ever was. I prefer eating sausage rolls than fancy sandwiches. And do you know what I mean? Like, I've actually got in my utility room back there, I've got like 3 boxes of like baked beans and super noodles, and because we bought all of this stuff, like because we thought like 100 people were going to come. We bought it all in advance, and not everyone turned up. So we just got loads. I'm going to go take it to a food bank actually, because like I don't need it, man. I don't even like baked beans, and I've got about 100 cans of it. Like, don't even like them, you know.
I tell you what, my wife loved it. My son loved it. They had a good old time. We got some great footage of those two dancing on the dance floor. It was good. I want to thank you. It was good, man. I really think for everyone out there, 9 Inch is just fine. There's nothing wrong with 9 Inch. Works perfect. It's flawless. They had their little burp there in the beginning, but that was fine. You're over it, and now we're just waiting for the market to get going. And I'm going to heed your warning and start adding some liquidity to the Ethereum side. I did not know that was an issue.
Yeah, you're right. I probably should have been a bit louder about it, but yeah, I'm gonna focus on that a little bit more. I really want to get us up to 10 million liquidity on Ethereum. It doesn't matter what pairs they're on. It really doesn't. We just need $10 million of liquidity on there, and then we can start breaking into these aggregators. And once we're on the aggregators, it's good. It's going to be a good time if you're a 9-incher. And yeah, we just got a little bit of impotence, but we're back on the Viagra. Oh, I heard, right, I don't want to show this because I don't know the guys behind it, but someone made a derivative coin of 9-inch called Viagra, and I just thought it was really funny. Like, I don't know anything about it or who created it. I'm not shilling it. I just thought it was funny that people are building on top of 9-inch to like.
Hey, before we go, what do you think about the job B Roots did over on Krishna Randman's show? Did you see it?
So I only seen a clip, but damn, he did good, man. He did good. I don't know why Rand hates Richard Hart stuff so much. Like, he used to like Richard, right? I don't know what happened there. Because I did scared because of the SEC stuff. Maybe, but I did a Spaces with Mario Nafal and Ram was on there and a couple of others, and I was shilling Pulse Chain, but like in a similar way to B Roots, really, where it was just like, look, guys, I know you're not keen, but I'm telling you, this is actually a good opportunity because of the blah blah blah. I think he did fantastic. The thing is, I think B Roots gets a bad rap. Look, we know he's a paid show. We know he shills shit that I don't think people should follow him in terms of like what he shills, but he does a good job of driving up engagement. Like, he's huge for Pulse Chain. Like, he's one of our best assets for sure. He's breaking a crowd that like, no, we got to come at this shit from different angles, right? Especially when Richard isn't here. I think we should embrace everyone who's out there promoting Pulse Chain in whatever fashion they can do it, especially if they're breaking into new audiences. They're finding ways to talk to other people. I'm a big fan of B Roots. To be honest, when I first seen his stuff, didn't like it because I knew he was a paid show, right? But then I got talking to him. I can't remember where I spoke to him. I think it was in some random Telegram chat. He just happened to be in there. And I realized, damn, this guy's really smart, actually. He's a lot smarter than I thought. And then Yeah, I've worked with him in the past. He has us on Shill Tank a few times. I respect it, man. I respect it massively.
I was a paid shill in the 2016-17 bull market, so I understand from that perspective how it feels. And all you're doing is sharing information, and you're hoping that the token does well, and that's just how it works out. Sometimes they're not going to, and because he's the face, he's the one that's going to take the shit. He's gonna pay for it if the thing does bad. So,
but the thing is, he wears it like armor as well. That's why I think he's so good at it, because he knows that, I think the way he goes about it is he's almost like he's a little bit unattackable, because he's very honest about his approach and what he does. The only reason I didn't like him so much at the beginning is because I actually seen him on Twitter and I followed him on one or two things. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Went in, oh, that was the top. And then another thing a couple of weeks later, oh, that was the top. So I was just like exit liquidity for a few guys, because quite often, I mean, unless it's like mega early in a coin, you can kind of tell the difference between the paid shill ones and then the genuine ones that he talks about. Pulse Chain is a genuine one. Like, he believes in that. He invested in, he sacrificed for 9-inch. You notice it's funny because like he shit talks all the sacrifices except 9-inch. Like, he shit talks every single one of them, but I've never seen him shit talk 9-inch, not once. And I wonder why that is, because he's got a big bag. Exactly. He's not going to shit talk his own bags, is he? Like, no. Same with Forepleb. He said he never sacrificed for anything Pulse Chain related except for Pulse Chain until Forepleb came along, and he sacrificed for that. Now I think he sold it day one, but it doesn't matter. Like, he made money on that. If he did, he made like a 4 or 5x if he did that. So well played him. He made money. That's what the game's all about at the end of the day, right? Like, we're here to make money. We're not here to shake each other's hands so much. Inevitably, it's player versus player. It's like a game of poker. We're all playing against each other. Now, we can dance around and pretend we're all best friends, which we are to some degree. But at the end of the day, I'm here to make money. I care about me, and you care about you and your family. Everyone who's in here is in there for their own reasons. But inevitably, we all want to make money. If you're too friendly in the sense, if you get in that mindset of, oh, I'm never selling because I care too much about the community, you're gonna lose, mate. So you have to be willing to take profits here and there, and when the opportunity beckons, like for example B Roots with Forepleb, I imagine that he sold it straight away because he's seen that he was up 4x, and he assumed that if he's up 4x, there's a lot of people at 4x, so a lot of people are probably going to sell it. So he made the right call. Maybe he bought back in at the bottom. I don't know, but
yeah, that's happened with Nope Token, right? Go 48x. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah. Some people are going to take profits.
I think you'll have another one as well. I think when Weth came out, where did the ETH go? When that came out, it went up something like 40x, and then it had a big dump, but then it just shot up again.
But I sold everything like at 15x from there. 15x for me. I was like, yeehaw!
I was like, serious. Mate, people get caught up on this 10,000x thing. I think I might have said it to you last time we streamed. People get caught up on this 10,000x, change your life. Nah, mate. Nah, if you make a 10x, you're doing all right. You should sell some at a 10x. Honest, unless you're in it for a long time and you know you're in it for a long time. If it's some speculation, new token that's came out, if you make a 10x like that, you need to sell some of it like that and just take your profit, man. You're never going to regret taking profits as long as you don't sell all of it. Just sell half or something. If you sell half, you've made a 5x guaranteed. You cannot lose. You're up 5x and you've still got half your bag to play with. This is what I did with DBI. DBI, I got in there super early. I actually fucking painted that chart at one point. Like, it fell out of its parabola, and I was like, nope. Get that back in the parabola. So I did, and then it ended up going up another like 4 or 5x from there before it had another dip. I literally, the way I played that, I will never play a chart as well as I did on that one. I bought it early, set some LP in, and then I never really sold it. I just had limit orders and I had liquidity in place. And then as it went up, I just removed my liquidity, or I just, sold via limit orders. Now I've got way more DBI than I ever had because I waited for this huge dip. I basically, unfortunately, guys, I made the top, but only with limit orders. It just couldn't get through my limit orders anymore. So sorry, DBI community, but yeah, it was kind of me that made the top. My bad. But not via like aggressive selling. I just put limit orders in, right? And there wasn't enough buy pressure to get through. But then I've saved all that money that was at the top, and I've let it go down 85-90%, and now I've been buying it, and I've got more now than I ever did. So there you go. That's how you play the game, man. Like
that's how I did 9-inch.
Yeah, there you go. You got if you believe in something long term, if you think that something's going to last and it's going to be here for that's why I like DBI, for example, because they've got this whole production behind it, right? It's not just like some random shitcoin. They've got this character. Yeah, they've got. I mean, I love the dev. Like, I'm trying to get him a little cameo in the lowest of stakes as well. But I mean, I got a great working relationship with the DBI guys, and they see the value of kind of being affiliated with a Pulse Chain related guy as well, or a Richard Hart related guy, because there is a lot of money in that. And then there's a lot of money in their side as well, like the shitcoin degens and Ethereum degens, whatever. So it's a good handshake agreement to have. And those guys, I believe in them long term. So that's why I have the conviction when it's going down and everyone thinks it's over to be buying up those bags from the people that don't believe, because they're going to continue to do it. And I would look at 9-inch in exactly the same way. Like, we're still working, man. Like, all of us guys that are here, we're still working. We've never stopped working. To be honest, we're probably working harder now than we ever have, because we're just building shit in the background that you guys don't even know about. So if you think that we're still going to be around doing this in a couple of years, I know I will be. But again, I don't work for any of you guys. I work for myself, and I've got bags of 9-inch, and I want those bags to go up in value. So what am I going to do? I'm going to work for it. And if you believe that we've got like long-term, potential, all those guys that dump their bags now because they're scared because the website went down for 3 hours. Oh shit. Well, take it off them. Because if they're going to sell on something like that now, or they're going to sell because the price went down 70% or whatever, they're just going to stop the price going up later. So you're better off getting rid of those guys now. I'm kind of glad that we've had this huge dump, to be honest. I've seen so many guys empty their bags. They just emptied them out for pennies on the dollar. Cool. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
I don't know if you know what qualified for the airdrop for no permissions. I think you did. Every month that you were a client or the $20 a month member, you got 100,000 NOPE tokens. And if you were a consult member, you got 1 million per month. And
I didn't know that bit.
So those folks really got bank. And so there was a couple people that were like tweeting me and like, "Oh, Randy, it's not fair. I thought this was a fair launch and all that kind of stuff." I said, "Yeah, it was fair. You guys didn't know when the time or the day. I gave you a roundabout time. That was the fair launch." I said, "You could have participated earlier. You did not." There was one guy who messaged me, and he's actually a Patreon member. He said he waited by his computer for 7 hours for the contract to hit live with liquidity, and he hit it. And he bought he was the first purchase, he said, or somewhere there. And I messed up the first batch of liquidity. I missed a 0. So it was like way less than it was supposed to be. He got all these coins, and he said it was life-changing money for him. I'm like, well, congrats. He said he really needed the money, and it was life-changing money for him. I'm like, dude, congratulations.
That's great, man.
Good for you.
See, that's what it's all about, like helping people out, man. Like I loved it. There was a point where like Poor Pleb, that I think from the bottom to the top, we'd gone up like on one of the swings that we had. I think we went up like 30x or something. Guy said he put like a couple grand in at the bottom, and that's just changed his life. And he's like, "I'm sorry, but I've sold it all now because I had to. It was too much money." But like that shit changed his life, And I'm grateful that people can do that, All I want is the people around me, the people who support me and believe in what I'm doing. And I'm sure you feel the same way. I just want those guys to do well. Yeah. Obviously, if they're doing well, then we're doing well, right? So,
I got a freaking job now. My job is supporting my community. So yeah, my first priority is my family. My second is the no permissions community. So if these guys come out with a token they want me to talk about, and I find it's valid, there's one right now that I will not do, and they know which one it is. But there's others that
I know which one you mean. Does it begin with a T and end in an X?
Yeah. I won't go out there and shield it. I won't do it.
Bro, I've got so many people telling me to get in on that right now.
I will not do it. I don't buy tots.
I might have a little go, but I can't shill it, man. I can't shill it at all. Like I never will. But just you. Like some guys are telling me about it. I'm just like, man, weren't you like a devoted Richard Hart maximalist like 6 months ago? And you're telling me this, which is a clone of the thing, and I'm just like, why? How has this happened, man? Like the world's a crazy
let me tell you,
place.
I want to, before we talk about anything else, I want to say thank you for putting up the farms. We're already over 125 million or 25,000 in liquidity. It's just moving on
awesome.
up. That's really cool. We were at like 40,000 this morning, and now we're at 120 something thousand. So that's great. Vanilla the Hex can say, where are the token economics of Nope? It is a meme coin, but it's a community token, and it's going to be used for airdrops. It'll be used for NFT projects and all kinds of stuff like that. So if you follow HLA and the Tang Gang, I'm actually learning a lot from them. And I want to implement a lot of what they're doing into what we're going to be doing at Nope. So it just makes sense. It's just people overcomplicate things with token economics. I used to be one of the ones that did that. I'd be like, oh, what are the token economics of that? You don't need to. What we could do is
picture of dog or
yeah, exactly.
Like that. That's better promotional material than tokenomics, mate. I'm telling you, like.
Exactly. Well, I am looking at the buy and burn stuff that UpX and Up has, and if that is viable, and if we can do that with the amount of liquidity that we have, then it's possible. But if not, then no worries. We're still building a great community, and there is no inflation in Nope token. So the only thing that we can really do is cause deflation, which is what a lot of the folks are cheering for. So we'll look at doing that. But thanks again. I mean, I don't want to keep you too long. It's getting late there. I know it's 10 p.m. for you. Or 10.
That's all good. All good, yeah, mate.
Yeah. But you guys have done a fabulous job. I don't care if the first week was a shit show, as long as the ship was righted and you guys righted the ship, and you did a great job of doing that. And now it's going out there and spreading the word. And I'm a big fan. I want to see you be successful. I want to see Mooney Man. I want to see all you guys. I feel like you guys are my family over there. So I want you guys to get this going. And I'm really hoping that we can get Ethereum going well, because I have a feeling that if we can get this Ethereum going well, it's just going to raise everything in Pulse Chain up, because you're going to bring in a lot of buyers, a lot of people into the Pulse Chain ecosystem. And right now, the only community really, really doing it in Pulse Chain is 9inch. That has a plan to do that. The only ones with a plan. Everyone else is just, they can talk shit all they want, but they're not doing anything on Ethereum.
Yeah. See, I don't see any other community doing that either, really. Like we're trying to bridge the gap, and I just see a lot of people that are kind of circle jerking. Like, I don't want to throw shade on any project or anything like that, but like, look, man, there's a finite amount of money in Pulse Chain. Like, we need more money in Pulse Chain. Like, you need new users. You got 10x the user base if you want to see your 100x in price or whatever it is. Like, how are we 10x in the user base when we're not adding anything other than stuff just to? We're just all jerking off on a biscuit in the middle right now. You know what I mean? Like,
jerking off on a biscuit.
Yeah. So. Ethereum side, I mean, look, the reason we did Ethereum as well was a hedge against the fact that maybe Pulse Chain didn't work out. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, but it would be unethical of us to not do it on Pulse Chain. On Ethereum. The thing is, I would like us to launch on more chains. I want us on every chain, really, but I want us to have viable liquidity on each chain before we start moving around and doing other stuff. There's no reason that we can't launch on every EVM based chain. The code is the same. It's very easy to do. We just need more. We need a bit more traction first. I would like to see us on Phantom and AVAX and things like this, like, soon. Really, I would like to see all of that happen soon. But if we ever do that, by the way, and here's a pro tip, if we ever do that, depending on, let's say right now we're on 2 chains. If we were going to launch on, let's say BNB, it doesn't really matter, but let's say we were going to launch on BNB, for every token you would have on, I don't know, Ethereum, you would get half a token on BNB. And then if we were going to launch, every token you got on Pulse Chain, you get half a token on there. So we're going to split it up. And then if it ever happened that we launched on a 4th chain, it would be 1/3 per chain. So we would always keep that, we'd airdrop that into our new community, to the community
Beautiful.
That we already have, right?
Keep them engaged, keep them active.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got more airdrops coming. Like, the boys sent us through, man, one of the funniest meme coin ideas I've ever heard in my life the other day. And I want to launch this one soon. I just want to get the voting out first. But like the way they described it was just glorious. Like, so like, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That'll be the next airdrop going out to like BBC 9inch holders or whatever. So Yeah.
All right. Well, on that,
that
look,
life
we
now,
got
man.
airdrops incoming, and I told people over 2 years ago, once Pulse Chain launches, get ready for that mass amount of airdrops coming to your wallets, and it's going to be a crazy year in 2024. I want to say thank you again. I appreciate it. Let's end this. I don't like to keep my streams too long. Tonight's will be long though. Tonight I'm doing giveaways and playing casino and doing all that kind of stuff. So it should be fun.
Enjoy, mate. Don't get too wrecked. Like I got fucking destroyed in the casino the other night. Like,
oh no.
Yeah,
that happens.
It happens. It happens. But yeah, thanks for having me on again. Thank you to the No Permissions community for sticking around. And I like being in that Patreon. If any of you guys that are in that Patreon have questions, then feel free to DM or tag me directly in that group. I'm quite happy to answer anything that anything that you want to go over. It's quite fun in there actually, and I know there's a couple of guys in there that got a bit pissed off, but hopefully we've sorted it all out now. I think there's a few guys in the community in general that got a little bit pissed off, but look, this is crypto, man. You get swings up, swings down. How happy do you think the Hex guys were when they were down 99% at the beginning? They bought on day one because they thought that was how you did it, and then they went down 99%. Do you think they were happy if they held?
I didn't complain. I just chalked it up as a loss.
Yeah. I wouldn't chalk this one up as a loss just yet, though. To be fair, man, we're still outperforming PulseX in terms of how much we've gone down. We haven't gone down as much as PulseX, so I see that as a victory.
Absolutely, it's a good thing. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate it, and I know the God wheel of Pulse of 9-inch and Nope also appreciates it. He sends his regards.
Much love, brother.
All right, everybody. Cheers. See you tonight.
Cheers. Peace.